Hi, my name is Cold Beer, and let's start with... Ow! My Achilles. Legends Untold. Here you will take control of a man with a really weak heel but with very strong everything else. The journey will take you to many different corners of mythological lands, where you will obtain powerful artifacts that will aid you in your quest. The game has a cool AI system that introduces innovative enemy behavior. Opponents have unscripted interactions with each other and are capable of coordinated attacks. Developers are also saying that sometimes your enemies are even taking advantage of their surroundings. Well, honestly, that should be mandatory in every modern game. If your adversary is ignoring surroundings, that is so old school. I think even pigs in Duke Nukem 3D could hide behind the walls, and the game was released in the past millennium. So Achilles Legends Untold is Souls-like, but not as hard as actual Souls games. Various Diablo-like action RPG lovers could play it as well. But of course, don't expect Diablo-like battles. Here every battle is important. Well, at least they are made this way. If you played, for example, Sands of Aura, you may realize what I have in mind. It is a mix of genres, but I think it's really worth your attention. Kona II, Brume. The story starts in northern Quebec, that is Canada, in 1970s. A mining village is enveloped in a distorted reality by a mysterious mist, the Brume. You will take the role of a detective, tasked with uncovering the enigmatic origins of this disruptive force. You will have to navigate the snowy landscapes and encounter stranded victims and survivors of a devastating calamity. Your ultimate mission is to trace the dark secret behind the Brume and strive to eliminate it. You will search for clues in wooden shacks, visit nearby locations on your dog sled, and navigate the icy surrounding lakes. Although keep in mind that this is not just a walking simulator. This environment is here to kill you, so solving puzzles is not the only thing you'll do here. The review score is around 80%, so it may be a nice game for your weekend. To beat the main story, it will take you around 10 hours. Knights Within. This is a very fun indie project where you will eradicate hordes of knights as another knight. The catch is that you have an automatic rifle and you can live your ultimate fantasy of having modern weapons in a medieval world. You know, we all had this thought. What if I had a rifle against knights in shining armor? How many can I take down before a very painful death occurs? Well, at least one, right? But it's you, and the game is difficult, so I wouldn't bet all my potato salad on that outcome. No offense. Anyway, he will embark on a procedurally generated missions to push back the threat. Progressing through a mission will grant you randomized modifiers for both you and your enemies. The longer you survive, the crazier the powers get, keeping each run fresh and unique. You can play alone or co-op with up to 3 friends. Metal Hellsinger. You'll kill demons to the rhythm of metal and vengeance on an infernal journey through the 8 hells. This is a rhythm first-person shooter bursting with monsters, gorgeous weapons and heavy metal music created for this game by amazing metal geniuses, like Serj Tankian for example. Yeah, Serj himself sings a new song created especially for this game, and you kill demons listening to it. The song was created with the idea behind it that it is meant to be listened to while killing demons. It is hard to wrap my head around this fact and how metal it actually is. So if you like fast-paced first-person shooter games like Shadow Warrior or Doom, search no more. Metal Hellsinger is what you need to kill your boredom with style. Tunguska, The Visitation. This is an isometric survival game that brings you to the dangerous Tunguska exclusion zone, where you'll face deadly traps, infectious mutants, bandits, and well-armed rogue military. The game is inspired by the same story as a Stalker, the roadside picnic written by the Strugatsky brothers. Keep in mind that they wrote the story before any serious nuclear accident ever happened, so it's not actually tied to Chernobyl or any other nuclear disaster, just a post-apocalyptic, gritty and dark Soviet Union filled with unexplainable horrors. Although you can literally describe a casual Soviet Union without any post-apocalypse with the same words. People in the comments are saying that if you like Stalker or Atom RPG games, it's a no-brainer. Also, it has very positive reviews on Steam. Just keep in mind that despite walls of text, looting and side quests, it is an actual twin-stick shooter, and at first may be difficult to control. Although from my own experience, when you get used to it, everything will be fine. Thief Simulator 2. It is time for you to become a thief. Steal from the rich, commit some burglaries, live the life of your dreams. No matter what others say, always keep in mind that every profession is honorable. Also, before committing to crime full-time, you can also try this game. People are saying that it will seriously teach you a thing or two. Although keep in mind that a thief's trade is not just an easy jog in the park. In order to get some practice, you will start with petty theft. This is how you'll gain the experience required to access more and more risky, and most importantly, more profitable jobs. You will gain levels, unlock new opportunities, and get new useful tools. You know, every modern thief must have modern tools from AliExpress. As developers say, it's not only a crowbar and binoculars, but also an advanced equipment that becomes available as you progress, such as a laptop for hacking through security systems. I never knew that special laptops for hacking existed, but well, who am I to disagree? People on Steam are saying that this game will tickle your adrenal glands, so maybe don't drink too much coffee before playing. U-boat. This is a simulator of a submarine from the Second World War era, yet it is different from other more action-oriented games. U-boat is a survival sandbox with crew management mechanics, while its primary theme is life of German sailors. The boat is their home, but it can become their grave at any time. The game is influenced by Fallout Shelter, XCOM, and also the movie Das Boot. They even use the same decals for the submarine as seen in the movie. So you'll have to control the crew in order to control your boat. You will look after their mental and physical health, make sure the sailors won't become angry or tired. If their spirit is low, there is a chance of whining, bad morale, and even a skirmish. So, as real Germans back then would say,
yeah, so take care of them and make Hitler proud, ja, by sinking those ships of capitalist America, ja, Bier mit Sauerkraut, ja, wunderbar.
Kingdoms and castles. That is no doubt one of the most original names you can think of when creating a medieval strategy game about kingdoms and castles. Oh wait, no it's not. So here your kingdom must survive a living and dangerous world. Will the Viking raiders do some pillaging to your villages? Or are they stopped full of arrows at the castle gates? Does a dragon torch your granary and your people will die of starvation in the winter? Or will you be able to fill it with arrows as well? Not the granary, the dragon. The success of your kingdom depends solely on your skill as a city and castle planner, so as always, your villagers are doomed. Anyway, make sure your peasants are fed in the winter and healed of plagues. Build churches to keep their minds washed and taverns to keep them happy. Send out woodcutters to collect wood. Set up stone quarries to build your castles and farm the land efficiently so your town can grow and thrive. Also, in case of fire, your townsfolk can efficiently pee on it. Rayman Origins. I won't be lying that this is one of the coolest platformers I have ever tried, although it is obviously oriented to a younger audience. So officially buy it for your kid or nephew, let him play for a while, and then when nobody sees, ruin all the high scores the kid has set. Yeah, show your dominance, show that little bugger who the real boss is. Although, let's be honest, there is a huge chance that you can't even get close to the high scores kid has set. Anyway, Rayman Origins is set in a rich world with over 100 characters and 12 unique environments. It includes over 60 levels of platforming. You will often unlock new abilities, and with them you can return to previous levels and discover new secrets. Cool concept, very positive review score on Steam, and the price is more than nice. 8-bit Hordes. Basically, this is a Warcraft if it would be made using the Minecraft engine. You'll find two factions, the Dark Orcs and their undead friends versus those annoying humans, dwarves, elves and all that puny stuff in general. You will collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of evil or, you know, pathetic good, and ultimately crush your opponents, or be crushed by them. Game offers 24 offline campaign missions, 12 co-op missions to play with your friends, and 10 multiplayer maps that support up to 8 trolls online, literally and figuratively. Although honestly, you will never see 8 players online. I'm not even talking about this amount of players in multiplayer, so if you want some player versus player battles, you're gonna need a friend. But don't worry, AI is present as well. It has multiple difficulty options, also it can play in a team with you or destroy you. It is quite capable of doing that, believe you me. 8-bit Hordes is easy to understand and is user-friendly in general. If you like RTS games, there is no doubt that you may like this one as well. Observer System Redux. This is a cyberpunk horror game where you will discover a dark world beset by plagues and war. You will take on the role of the new frontline of neural police as you hack into the jagged minds of the insane. So as you hack into the unstable minds of criminals and victims to look for clues, you will relive their darkest fears, forcing you to question your own reality and your own sanity. You know, maybe you are the one who's actually insane. All in all, this is a dark, psychological horror detective game, so be sure you have the mental balls to play it. The game is not for everyone, but if you like creepy sci-fi stories, it's definitely your spoon of potato salad. People on Steam are saying that the game is kinda scary, but really nicely welded together and is an absolutely unique experience. Slime Rancher 2. It seems that the second part of Slime Rancher is just as a hit as the first one, and more than 90% of positive reviews won't let me lie. Here you'll continue the adventures as you journey to Rainbow Island, a mysterious land brimming with ancient technology, unknown natural resources, and an avalanche of wiggling, jiggling new slimes to discover. As you attempt to unravel the island's secrets and uncover its true purpose, you will build, ranch, and farm within a beautiful conservatory, whose sparkling glass walls give you a full view of the prismatic paradise you now call home. So collect slimes never seen before on the far range. You know, like the bouncy cotton slime, or the aquatic angler slime, or a potato salad slime. Well, no, that even sounds wrong. No slime on my potato salad, please. Cuphead. This is a classic run-and-gun action game heavily focused on boss battles. Inspired by cartoons of the 1930s, the visuals and audio are created with the same techniques of the era. For example, traditional hand-drawn cell animation, watercolor backgrounds, and original jazz recordings. You play as Cuphead as you traverse strange worlds, acquire new weapons, learn powerful super moves, and discover hidden secrets while you try to pay your debt back to the devil. Game is painfully difficult, and if you have no patience, it's not for you. Avoid at all costs, or buy and try to prove yourself that you can do it. You probably can't, but you never know until you try. Game's art and atmosphere is absolutely 10 cold beers out of 10, and as I've mentioned, difficulty as well. The Witness. I hate this game. The Witness is for smart people with great memory, and I'm none of these people. And although I like puzzles and all that, but by playing Witness I realized that I'm way dumber than I imagined. So if you like to test your memory and IQ, this is a great title for you. Just keep in mind that the results can be a bit disappointing. The game itself is set on a beautiful open-world island where you have to crack all the riddles to unveil a terrible secret. If you are not some puzzle maniac, you will never get there. But at least the game will show you your limits. Conan Exiles. This is an online multiplayer survival game with mounts and mounted combat set on the lands of Conan the Barbarian. You'll journey through a massive and seamless open world, from the rolling sand dunes of the southern desert to the mysterious eastern swamp and the snow-capped mountains of the frozen north. Climb anywhere and experience full freedom of exploration. In other words, it is an open world sandbox and you can play together with friends or, you know, with creepy strangers as you build your own home or even a shared city. You will have to survive freezing cold, explore loot-filled dungeons, and develop your character from lowly peasant to a mighty barbarian. Also fight to dominate your enemies in epic siege wars. People on Steam are talking that the game is a bit buggy and that can be annoying, but it also has boobs in it, so for that you can forgive almost anything. Stellaris. Here every game begins with a civilization who just discovered the means to travel between stars and is ready to explore the galaxy. You will have your science ships survey and explore anomalies, leading you into a myriad of missions, introducing strange worlds with even stranger stories and discoveries that may completely change your outcome. And as always, you are not alone in the universe and you don't know what you will encounter. Maybe a friendly trade federation, maybe a trade federation we saw in Star Wars, and maybe just plain space cannibals. And you will have to deal with all this galactic nonsense all alone, or in multiplayer mode with your friends. Against the Storm. This is a roguelite city builder set in a gloomy dark fantasy world. Artistically, this is one of the coolest RTS city builder games I have ever seen. The style is very original and the atmosphere is breathtaking. I didn't like only one thing: here it never stops raining. I hate rain in real life because I wear glasses and this combo is never a good thing. But in game it feels like a never-ending visual interference. Some people may like it, some don't. So it's not a big deal in general. Anyway, here you are, a pioneer engineer sent into the wilds to establish and manage new settlements inhabited by smart beavers, lizards, and humans. Weird choice of races, but I really approve of that. I'm so tired of elves, dwarves, and various combos of demons and undead. Lizards and beavers are awesome, and you will feel like one of them. You will care about their survival, about their happiness, and will protect them from danger. Well, not always. This is a roguelite after all, so the occasional defeat is programmed in the genre of the game. After a bitter end, the game will instantly offer you better buildings and devices, so your next run would be better, and the cycle continues until another bitter defeat. Your goal is to survive long enough and gather the valuable resources necessary to rebuild and upgrade your city. It's the only safe haven against the Blightstorm, a vile cycle of destruction ravaging everything in its path. On Steam it has above 90% of positive reviews, and I can give it 10 cold beers out of 10, without much doubt. Totally accurate battle simulator. If you are just bored and want to kill some time in single player without thinking too much, I doubt there is a better game for that than Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. At first, it's really funny. Second, it challenges your IQ and actual tactical skills. All you need to do is to choose your units, place them strategically, and press the fight button. They will do all the battling part by themselves, and you will observe it like some overarching god who has no power to influence anything anymore. So when your army is ripped apart and its scattered remains lie on the ground, then you may think of another strategy and try again, and then again. Some of the battles in the campaign are crazy hard and will squeeze your IQ through your nostrils. Also, if you have some doubts, the game has about 100,000 reviews left on Steam and the score is really close to 100%. I'm not kidding, it's probably one of the best rated games on the whole Steam.
Contraband Police.
The year is 1981, and as a young officer trainee you are assigned to work at a border post of the mountainous region of Karikatka. Entry into the Akarist People's Republic is strictly regulated by the party, and your every move is monitored. The situation at the border escalates when your comrade is killed during one of the interventions. Every visitor must have a set of valid documents. Even the slightest suspicion means refusal to entry. Over time, the number of documents will increase and errors will be more difficult to detect. But you have a good eye and will never disappoint your dear leader. So here you must always be ready to intervene in an emergency situation, solve crime puzzles, support your comrades, and show these capitalist rebels who the real boss is. And of course, it's your dear leader. You are just a helping hand that will help to make decisions that will determine the future of glorious Akaristan. And some say I have an accent, but as you can hear, my English is perfect. Frostpunk. If you ever had a dream to make children work in the mines, this game will fulfill this dream of yours in no time. Frostpunk is a city management and building game, but with heavy survival elements and resource management mechanics. You will be in charge of a steampunk society that survived the collapse of civilization. But sometimes it's better to perish with the others than to be governed by a maniac like you. Just remember those children you sent into the mines. Anyway, you know, their hands are tiny but they are fast. Some of them might die. Their parents will organize a coup against you, but, you know, you can't rebel if you're dead. You know, you rebel, you die. Also, in this way, you will have less people to feed. Everything falls in place like mayonnaise on the potato salad. Since the premiere, Frostpunk has been enriched with a number of updates. Now you can enjoy the new Endless mode that increases the game's replayability. There is also a new scenario, the Fall of Winterhome, that further expands the game's universe and lore. And for the dessert, they added things like naming characters and automatons, and finally a photo mode. The game has about 90% of positive review score on Steam and is great for everyone who likes to dive into a post-apocalyptic world and make it better. Or worse. Way worse. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.